do have something I really wanted to talk about with all of you, especially with Kelsey, Alex, Jay, and Ty. Now, it was a big, push from social media about what's going on in Seattle. We had one of the offensive linemen that was released and waived after learning about he beat his girlfriend, not wife, but girlfriend. The team tried to keep it under the rug, but social media brought it up. So what I want to know, and I'm gonna speak on it last. What are your feelings or views on how the NFL took this as far as the Chad Wheeler, the offensive lineman in Seattle, and what should go on as far as his actions being in the NFL, as far as the NFL handling him? Because there's really been lack of action or any verbal statements or anything from the front office. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, okay. I'll start it off. First off, I'm glad that we're talking about this. I've been on multiple shows and they've had me come on and like, oh, we want a female's perspective. It's not a female's perspective for this. It's a human rights issue. Domestic violence impacts us all. Yeah. So first off, I want to name that. And I'll go back to a little story. I was here in Baltimore covering the Ravens when the whole Ray Rice incident happened. And I remember how crazy that got and how big that got. And we can all remember that video that came out, which I think even still to this day, is like still a shock, right, that happened. I remember the Ravens doing a jersey swap. The line was around M&T Bank Stadium for fans swapping in their Ray Rice jerseys to go and get another Ravens player's jersey. And lo and behold, domestic violence isn't new to the NFL. It's not new to sports, right? It's unfortunate, but it continues to happen. We've all had to do this story so many times. I think we keep asking, we saw an example made of Ray Rice, right? There's kids now growing up who probably don't even know who Ray Rice is because literally it's like they've almost erased his name from the history books. But saying all that to say, Chad Wheeler and the fact that, we've had to ask for a mugshot, the fact that we haven't seen action from the NFL, and they're saying it's a new culture change, they want to do things right. Well, they had a chance to get this right. And again, I know it's the allegations, but we saw the pictures, we saw the police report, we saw what was said. And the fact that there's no anger, it just makes you feel like, does the NFL, do they value women over players? I don't care how good you are on the football field. Wrong is wrong. And the fact that we're asking for answers, the fact that it's not a trending story. When I'm cutting on my sports news, no one's talking about it. But for many players, we can go to guys in the NFL now who have been in domestic violence cases. And a lot of them, those guys, when they look like us, that story doesn't fall, right? It's always there. It's always there. It's always following. And so you're literally Googling to find information on it. And so I think it's very unfortunate, one, that it happened. I should have said first, actually, hearts and prayers just lost the victim. Very glad that she's alive to tell this story. And I really hope that other people, men or women that are impacted by domestic violence, can speak up and speak out so we can name these people. But I really hope due justice is served. But if he's signed by another NFL team, I think that's going to be a slap in the face to everyone and all the work that was done, especially post Ray Rice incident for the National Football League. But yeah, the fact that it just seems like he's out on bail, nothing's happened, just easy breezy. And like you said, that it was kind of hidden under wraps. It's like, do you value not only women, but just humans? Again, this happens to both men and women. And the fact that it's a story that we're still searching for. And that social media, thank gosh, had the power to make a larger story. So networks were pushed to talk about this issue. Is still just sad. So I think we're all just watching the NFL. We wanted them to act swiftly. I think we didn't see it act swiftly, but I still think they had a chance to make this right. And I hope they do it very soon.
Alex, what about you, man?
I know that was
okay, so I agree with her wholeheartly. I don't believe it got the attention that it should have, but let's not lie. It did get attention. Once someone learned, they tell two friends, so on and so forth. And the second I saw it, I'm going to make sure that, this guy's a star. Let it known every circle, everywhere I could go. I was actually shocked that when I checked Adam Schefter's page after he broke news of it, that there was about 1,400 people who thought this was funny.
Yes.
Now, I'm thinking, you got O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown. I don't think too many people see that as funny. She spoke about the Ray Rice incident in the elevator. And although that is a touch of a different circumstances, I don't think people found that funny. Yet when they see an African-American female almost being choked to death and some guy going back to dinner, drinking a smoothie, wondering if he killed her or not, and you see 1,400 people think that's funny, we have a problem not only in our system, in our criminal justice system, but in our society. This is America. It's a microcosm where you could be trashy and get laughs about somebody else's dismay. He was a 4th-round pick. That's another reason why he didn't get the Ray Rice treatment or maybe the Ray Caruth treatment. First round, fourth round, a little bit different when it comes to the money. He was arrested 2 days afterwards, mind you, but he was arrested and $400,000 bond. Now, fourth round pick, yeah, he got money, but that hurt his pocketbook. Fourth round picks don't get contracts like that. And he's more than likely done in the NFL because I'm pretty sure if the legal justice system doesn't get to him, there's quite a few brothers that he lines up against him on the defensive line that would have something to say or could injure him. He was off his meds. Apparently, that's the go-to. He has mental issues. Please get some help. You know what? Whatever. They charged him. They booked him. So we have to let due process go. NFL needs to do better, not only in communications, domestic violence, coaching, diversity. It's just we're watching the modern day gladiators. And as long as the gladiators are fine or don't worry with our entertainment, people really don't care. But no, trust me, I did my best to spread the word.
Ray, Jay, what do y'all think about it? Yeah.
I think Eric was saying something.
I wasn't sure if y'all could hear me, but if you could, I'd like to just speak on this really quick. Yeah. And I'm going to take a route that is not PC, if you will. So I'll preface my comments with saying this is my opinion and does not necessarily condone what this pop shop is about, but it is free speech. So I'm going to say what I want to say. The fact that this white man damn near killed this black woman and it's not getting the attention that it should have because of what Kelsey and Alex both beautifully executed, it is just very depressing to me that in 2021, these things are still continually, even when they're brought to light, they are still not given the true justice that it needs to be said. This man needs to have his ass whooped, okay? He needs to be taken back to the woodshed, let 4 or 5 guys handle business, and then let's see if he sings a different tune about bowing or having someone bow to him. It bothers me in the sense that I think all of us can say this. We were raised by black women. We were taught how to respect and love and treat black women. Not just black women, but women in general. So when things like this happen and it's not given the true attention that it needs to be given, all that I go back to is I just keep using 2 simple words. It's white privilege. So I thank y'all for that. I just had to get that off my chest.
Jay, y'all got anything y'all wanted to say about it or anything?
I mean, I feel like everybody else already pretty much said everything, man. It's disgusting to me, man, that something like that can be allowed to happen and nothing not happen, especially what happened to Ray Rice. I think he should be suspended indefinitely. I don't think he should ever be able to play in the NFL again. I mean, Ray Rice is not allowed to play in the NFL again, so I think it should be the same treatment, honestly.
Yeah, y'all said it best. But why he ain't getting attention is he's a lineman. And the rest of them, like Ray Rice, he was a running back. He was a star of a team. And just like Kareem Hunt, when he kicked that girl that time, you see how big that blew up. That was bigger than this. A lot bigger than this. And he kicked the girl. You know, that's no excuse either. But like you said, Eric, man, white privilege, man. So he was a lineman. Nobody knew who he was. And it came to light. They showed the pictures. But if he was somebody else, I say if he was another quarterback or something, it'll be a huge thing. But I don't think just because nobody know who he was, that's why he ain't getting the attention it is.
But what I'll say to that, James, is this: when guys like we saw what Greg Hardy did, and he was on the defensive side of the ball, and they called him out. True, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pac-Man Jones for all of his transgressions and everything that he did. Vontaze Burfict. The list goes on and on.
I want to say. Go ahead. DeForest Buckner. Was it DeForest Buckner?
DeForest Buckner, another one.
Yeah, there
were several other guys who weren't spotlight guys,
right?
But it was because they looked like the 6 of us.
Exactly.
Then they got called out, and all their business got put on Front Street. Right. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this guy, okay, 4th rounder, offensive lineman, no one knew his name. No, somebody knew his name. Because if no one knew his name, we would have never heard about it. It took someone actually stepping up and saying something. And whoever it was, I thank you for bringing this to our attention, because what annoys me more than anything is when our sisters keep getting hurt and no one's doing a damn thing about it. When women keep getting hurt and no one steps up to handle it, that's a problem. That's a problem that I just it doesn't set right with me, and I can't be politically correct about it. Because if it wasn't for a woman, I hate to sound like Tupac, but if it wasn't for a woman, damn it, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He said it best. Yeah. God made a woman. We came from a woman. Why don't we take care of them? That's
now real quick, because as soon as this, this is what I do. Alex, I appreciate you. I was at work and I saw the same thing. I saw Adam Schefter, break the news, and who do I see? Comment, come on. Why is this funny? It was my man Alex. So I, started to get in and dig into it and look some more into it. I'm seeing the face. I didn't know what was going on. So then I, read about everything. Wow. Now let's go back into history. Y'all just mentioned a lot of black players that got into the same type of situation. Now, progression of the NFL, they started inclusion. Let's talk about, addressing these problems, including women in the NFL more. Now let's go back a little. Do you recall Josh Brown in New York, the kicker? Oh,
yes.
Y'all don't know
I do. Yep,
I remember. What about Big Ben?
Yeah.
Big Ben came out in 2005, 2009, not one, not two, not three. I'm talking about 4 women that he possibly sexually assaulted and then settled under court. So this kind of reminds me of the Sandusky type environment. And what I'm talking about with Sandusky is when you have an athlete that is not black per se, but is inside the organization and that is vital to the organization, they will cover up the culture of that organization. And that's exactly what's going on right here. So it's disappointing and hurtful that it's not being addressed as big as the black players that we've seen in recent, news. But it makes me believe, from like you said, Eric, this is all personal opinion, but it makes me believe that because he is not a black player, I don't care if he was an offensive lineman, 4th round pick, because he is in the league, that is a noticeable status enough for this to be brought up. And that's exactly what happened. So the one thing that I really love about social media now is that after the George Floyd incident, we found out that our voices can be heard by making it, over social media. So I'm encouraging every media out, because the media controls the narrative of what people think and what how they're going to react. So I encourage every media outlet to make this, blow this up. And if this is going to be I just wanted to address this because I'm very passionate about it, because it would have been my black ass on there. Yeah, I knew Jarrell would. He was always that way. And then, it would spill over, but it is a double standard. And I just wanted to address that. And I appreciate all your views because you're all on it. So